It's time now for a special feature of the Glendale Devotional Podcast. The speaker is pastor, evangelist, and natural horsemanship trainer Ron Plymel. Now, here's Brother Ron.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to the Glendale Devotional Podcast. And here we are once again for Freedom Friday. Freedom Friday is a special podcast where I, Ron Plymel, have an opportunity to join forces with Brother John, who shares on this podcast the other 4 days of the week. My podcast takes on a little different view as I seek to use my life experience as a professional horse trainer of 20 plus years and a minister of over 40 years. And once again, I continue to share the reason we refer to this edition of the podcast as Freedom Friday is because our foundational emphasis is that of freedom. The spiritual freedom we experience in Jesus Christ and the natural freedom we utilize in our approach to working with horses. And then, of course, we seek to parallel some experiences of the horse training world with that of Bible truths, scriptural lessons, or specific scripture itself. Now, if you were with us last week, I shared that our path in December would be one where we sought to direct things toward the theme of Christmas. And within our time together during our last session, we discovered that one of the great reasons for celebrating within the Christmas season is the reality that through Jesus' birth, it signified to us the truth that God came to us. We no longer have to go to a particular region to find God, as they did in the Old Testament. We no longer have to go to a particular city, a particular building, or even seek out a particular person to find God. God came to us. And so in continuing to build upon that premise this afternoon, let me continue that thought by saying that God not only comes to us, but he comes to us where we are. In Matthew in chapter 2, beginning in verse 1, the scripture reveals that after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and we have come to worship him. Now, interestingly enough, the Greek word for wise men is rendered astrologers, where it occurs in the Septuagint, the Greek translation of the Old Testament. Put together with the role of the star in this passage, it would seem to suggest a connection with astrology. Those astrologers, then, pursuing their observation of the stars in the heavens, encountered a sign of God. God broke through their misguided system to make the great event of Jesus' birth known. God took his message of good news and met these men where they were. We can travel over to the Gospel of Luke and we find where there were shepherds out in the fields doing what they do, going about their business of taking care of sheep. And all of a sudden an angel of the Lord stood before them. God took the good news of his son and he met those shepherds right where they were. And perhaps the best news of all for us today is that God still does the same thing. He will come and meet us where we are in life. No matter our background, our upbringing, our denomination, our church affiliation or no church affiliation, our social status, etc., etc., God will come to us and meet us where we are. I mentioned last week that a major theme we have within our cowboy church is it's okay to not be okay. Because we are all not okay at some time, in some way, at some place in our life. But again, God will meet us where we are. And that is what is so exciting to us. God doesn't say change and then I will come to you, but rather let me come to you and I will help you to change. That is a similar philosophy that we utilize in our work with horses at Greener Grass Ministries and horsemanship. We attempt to take horses where they are and meet them there. We don't have a certain expectation level for them to be at, then they can come to us. But rather we seek to take the horse as he or she is, become aware of the problem, and then work with the horse from there. How excited and thrilled we should be as we seek to celebrate this season of Christmas with the real reason for the season. And that through Jesus' birth we are reminded that God came to us. And as he comes to us, he does so as we are, where we are. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, and may the joy of Christmas and this Christmas season truly be yours. And until next time, may God truly bless the trails you travel.
To learn more about Greener Grass Ministries and horsemanship, please call Brother Ron Plymel at 662-415-1514. You're always welcome to visit Cowboy Church, which is held at High on the Hog Barbecue, Highway 72 in Glenn, Mississippi, each Sunday morning at 8:30.